Joseph Arthur in the Bing Lounge today. Hey, thanks for coming back. We enjoy having you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. It's been about a year, I guess.
Yeah, about a year.
Yeah,
you
was
traveled
here
around
for the Boogie Christ album last time.
There you go.
Shameless plug.
Well,
gotta seize your opportunity.
Yeah, you gotta grab them, man. So the new album, I almost said the Lou album. The new album is Lou, and what was that the first Lou Reed song you ever heard? Walking the Wild Side?
You know, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I remember the first time I really got into the Velvet Underground was the VU album. My friend Jeremy Brass turned me onto it. And I remember there was one song on it where in the production there's conversation going on.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
Is that Sister Ray?
No, not Sister Ray. I forget what song it was, but I just remember being like profoundly moved by this sort of just irreverence of the production on it.
Yeah.
And how amazing
it was all over in
like
the right channel.
Crazy. It
yeah.
was like there's like a conversation, and that's the most interesting part of what's going on. So that was when I first got bit by the Lou bug.
Nice.
To say it
we all
poorly.
Do. I think we all do. So how did this all come about? I mean, explain to us, because you knew Lou, or kind of knew him. I mean, I don't know, as well as anybody, I guess. Does anybody really know, or did anybody really know Lou?
Yeah, he's an enigma. Well, I got introduced to him by Peter Gabriel. Actually, Peter signed me to his label. I was about 25 in New York City and playing a solo acoustic show to kind of audition for Peter Gabriel.
Okay.
And I was already completely nervous, of course. I mean,
of course.
And I found out like 10 minutes before I was going on that he was late because he was picking up Lou, who was going to bring his digital audio tape recorder to record the show. They used to have these things called DAT recorders. I'm sure you are
absolutely
very familiar with those.
Yeah.
And then I got to meet him right after that show. I mean, it was like, yeah, I was profoundly nervous. And then I met him, and I was having sort of an out-of-body experience. And then we went to, I've told this story a bunch, but then we went to eat, and Dolly Parton was sitting next to us in the booth, like in between like two young dudes. And then here's a fun fact. Peter told me that was his original choice for Don't Give Up. I'm not sure if I was supposed to share that publicly, but I have been sharing it all over the place.
With Dolly?
Yeah, it was going to be Dolly instead of Kate Bush. I think he did okay with Kate Bush doing it.
Yeah.
But it's just still an interesting idea, thinking of Dolly Parton singing Don't Give Up.
Yeah, I can almost hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay.
But yeah, that was, you would think it wouldn't get any more surreal, and then Dolly Parton shows up, and then,
Yeah, at that point, you just kind of want to.
At that point, it's like, okay, my life's, I'm probably going to get struck by lightning at any second.
Any minute now, yeah. That or just go home.
Yeah.
Pretend that nothing happened.
I skipped home. I was like, this is crazy,
So off and on, and over the years, did you reconnect with him? And
yeah, I would see him around, and I didn't really become friends with him until years later. And then we reconnected to a friend, and we ended up just hitting it off, and just ended up being a thing. It's a funny thing, and part of the reason why I was kind of a little nervous to do the Lou album is because to talk about your friendship with somebody who's a legend and who just passed is always kind of weird, thin ice. But yeah, we were friends. Yeah,
nice.
And then and then I wrote a eulogy when he passed, and Bill Bentley over at Vanguard Records read it and called me up and said, "What do you think about making a Lou tribute record?" And I thought, oh, okay, you mean like pick a song, which I wouldn't have picked "Walk on the Wild Side." I
be one of the artists on
one of the more interesting choices, but be one of the many artists on something. And he said, no, I think you should just do the whole record, and it just be a very personal record. And I thought that's kind of an interesting idea. And so I went on tour, and then 3 weeks later, I live in a recording studio, so I just started making it, and it's very stripped down arrangements, just piano and guitar.
It's a beautiful album.
I mean, thank you.
It just is.
And it came out well. Coney Island Baby was the first one.
Was that the first one you did?
Yeah, and it came out pretty good, so I sent it to Bill. And
came out great.
Thank you.
And he said, just keep going, and he decided to do the entire album, right?
No, I didn't send it to him. I made it. I'm going to throw him under the bus now too. But I made it, and then it was like a month later, basically,
Okay.
and I emailed him, and he was like really kind of hard selling me on the idea. I was a little bit like, that's kind of cool. Let me think about it. I go on the road with Mike Mills from REM a lot,
Right.
so I tried to rope him in on it. I was like, hey, dude, want to make this Lou Reed tribute album with me? And he was like, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. He was kind of like, maybe.
Right.
But then I made the record, and I emailed Bill. I was like, hey, so I made the record. I was being kind of humble. I thought it was great, actually, but I was being humble. I was like, I think it came out pretty good. And then he just wrote back like, cool, man. And I was like... and then I was like, hey, something seems to have shifted. And he's like, what one song would you pick if you...
Oh, no.
Because, that, you know, I think that Vanguard wanted to do more traditional, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
And anyway, then I just sent it to him anyway. It was done. And,
Yeah.
and he wrote me back like the next day, just like, we're definitely putting this out.
Yeah.
This is great.
Good choice.
Yeah.
It's very good. Well, thank you again for being here. I'd love to hear some more music.
Yeah,
Joseph Arthur.
I'll do this one for you because you said you like the New York album.
Love the New York album.
Dirty. Okay, I'll do that after this one. How about that?
Joseph Arthur
This
in the
one's,
Bing Lounge.
Dirty Boulevard.